Hello everyone, this is Shoram Maurya and once welcome you all in Linguality Capital. Dear friends, in this lecture we have a discussion on one of the important topic of linguistics which is known to be the traditional grammar. Dear friends, actually when do I talk about the traditional grammar, we get confused because in my previous lecture I had a discussion on the universal grammar. So, this makes us confused that what are the differences between the traditional grammar and the universal grammar. Means till now whatever the grammars we were studying was the traditional or universal. So at first let's clarify the differences between the traditional and the universal grammar. So, when do I talk about the when do I talk about the grammar, we study the grammar within two parts. In first part, we study the traditional grammar and second is the universal. I'm just going to clear that what are the differences between the traditional and universal grammar. Actually, the grammars that we are studying, that is the correct. Only the approaches, the way of studying the grammar means whatever the approaches that we are going to apply, the methods are the different and the thought levels are also different. Okay, when do I talk about the traditional grammar? In traditional grammar we study the taxonomic taxonomic approach to the structure of a language. What does this mean, taxonomic approach? Taxonomy means classificatory list. Classificatory means the range of the different types of the syntactic structure that are found in the language. But when do I talk about the universal grammar means that universal grammar deals with the cognitive approaches. Cognitive cognitive approaches. Okay, so when do I talk about the Professor Noam Chomsky, who is known to be the father of modern linguistics? Actually, according to Professor Noam Chomsky, actually just here I have shown an example. We can sense with this example. Let's suppose that if here the example is that players defeated, in the sense the players who were playing, they were defeated by the another players. Okay, so here in this one case we can directly say that this is the sentence. In another case we can say in player this is the noun plus plural form. In one case we can say this is the subject. Okay, and in one case we can say this is the subject, this is the predicate. In one case we can say this is the subject and this one is the verb second form. I mean, this is what that we study under the traditional grammar. But when do I talk about the universal grammar, with the Chomsky's point of the view, when we come to study the universal grammar, according to Chomsky, the UG theory, the child has the innate capacity of language. That was the UG theory of the Professor Noam Chomsky. But what about the universal grammar of Professor Noam Chomsky. According to Professor Noam Chomsky, whatever the actually the grammars have the two properties. First is the physical property that we are seeing about its form, and second is the mental property in the sense the whatever the meaning of this sentence is. But according to Professor Noam Chomsky, what is, I mean, any there is any, I mean, something other which are different from the physical and the mental properties of the this sentence. That is the mental lexicon, which is a, we can say computational, which is known to be the computational form. That means according to Professor Noam Chomsky, there is a sensory motor in our brain which understands and stimulates the responses of any of the meaning or the sound or any of the language. This is what the cognitive approaches that was given by the Professor Noam Chomsky for the universal grammar. But in traditional grammar, we study the taxonomic approaches means about their forms, about the forms of the structure of the language. Okay, so let's have a discussion about the traditional grammar. Okay, so at first I'm just swiping all this. I hope this lecture will really help you much more. So here we can see that according to what is the definition, that in traditional grammar the syntax of a language is described in terms of taxonomy of the range of different types of the syntactic structure. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that in traditional grammar, the phrases and the sentences are built up of a series of the constituents, means series of the constituents syntactic units, and each of the units belongs to the specific grammatical category. Means here we can see that the player, this is noun plus plural form, this is the verb plus second form, this is the subject position, this is in the predicate position, this is also we can say that this is in, especially this is the subject, this is the predicate, this is the also we can say subject, this is also have the category of the clauses, which this is has the finite clause. Okay, so what do I want to say here, that in traditional grammar we study the grammatical category of the structure of a language. Okay, so let's talk about that. Here we have the example like players defeated. This means that here player in the sense noun plus plural form, it is in a traditionally we can say that here we have the two constituents, this is the one and this is the one. Okay, the word players, player is means the player and defeated, these are the two constituents, and each of the constituents belong to the specific grammatical category. Means this has the subject verb pluralization category, and this is the verb category. Okay, and each of the categories serve as the specific grammatical functions. Like players have the category of the subject, whatever already we have discussed, and defeated it has the category of the predicate. Okay, And in the overall sentences, players defeated has the categorical status of clause, which is finite in nature. It means by virtue of its denoting that an event that take place at the specific, that event that take place at a specific time, that is known to be the finite clause. Okay, so it this one is the finite in nature also, and it has also the semantic functions of expressing a proposition which is declarative in force, which is declarative in force. Okay, kindly understand the language. Actually go through the my words, maybe handwriting may be poor here. Okay, now next is that in traditional grammar of English always tell us that simplest type of a finite declarative clause that is found in the English. Okay, means in a finite declarative clause a nominal subject is followed, always followed by the verbal predicate. This is the verb predicate and this is the subject. So in finite, declarative clause, a nominal subject is followed by the verbal predicate. Next, what do we study in the traditional grammar? That is that we study the grammatical category of a sentence, including the semantic properties, including the morphological properties, including the syntactic properties, and also we study the content words, function words, part of speech, and determinants also. When do we talk about the grammatical category LID, we as we had discussed the grammatical category of this sentence. What is the content and the function words? Content words is also known to be the lexical words, while function words is also known to be the functional words. Function word, content word means that if we can attach something in a word, then that is known to be the content words, like noun, like adjective, like adverb, like verb, and also some of the preposition, not all the preposition, only some of the prepositions are the content words. And function words means like pronoun, and also we have the conjunctions, we have the interjections. Means these are the part of the speech which is known to be the function words because we cannot attach anything else. Okay, what does this mean? Semantic property, semantic property in the sense it shows the meaning. Morphological properties means the form of the word or the sentences, and subtracting what is the structure of the sentences. So this all do we study under the traditional grammar. Next, when do I talk about the part of the speech, like in part of speech, like when do I talk about the content words? Noun. In noun also we study the count noun, most noun, proper noun, common noun. What is the singular form of the noun, plural form of the noun. There are, so many properties have the noun. In the same way, adjective have the so many properties also, adverb have the property also, verb have the property also. Means this all the property, the all the property that we study, the grammatical category of a sentence, that is all comes under the traditional grammar. So I hope you all would have understand the differences between the traditional and the universal grammar. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.